Alright, this is Banana Gaming and Toys. I'm your host Maverick, and today we'll be seeing one of the newer things is me testing out Destiny 2 gameplay. Now, the thing with this is it's a build. A pretty unique Destiny build. I'm not sure if I've seen it before, but this is all around the Ophidia space. The exotic nobody talks about, but it gives you 2 throwing knives per charge. Now, note that you heard per charge. Now, this practically means when you use the Gambler's Dodge, which I found out pretty early on, in a combination with the throwing knives and a bit of extra radiant and longer radiant, and you be able to combo radiant and Scourge, ignition, you have an explosive ad clearing build. And now this is all about ignition. And if you didn't know, after a while you can actually get an explosion that deals 20, well for me it deals 26,000 damage. I'm at late level 1,510, so it's good there. And the thing with other builds is you can't always get that ignition. Like, I know there's nuke builds, or they're using the proximity throwing knife, and making ginormous explosions and things, which deal a lot of damage as a whole, but I'm not sure if they're using actual ignition with them. I'm not able to see if there's ignition or not. So this build's all about explosives. So all you need is the Ophidia space. Anything else, honestly anything, maybe some knife, maybe some roll mobility, I guess, if you want. But you can almost put anything on as long as you have Ophidia space. All you need to do is, in the video I'll show you, but it's just simply you can grab whatever super you want. I recommend throwing knives. Throwing knives are kind of busted right now. Put whatever aspects you want. I don't recommend using the makeshift grenade because, well, it doesn't really serve much purpose other than an explosion. Equip Ophidia space and throwing knives. Make sure you have the fragments I told you to get in the video, and you're pretty much set. All you have to do for this is, if there's a wave of ads, get far away and throw the knives at them. Every single time the knives get killed while you're radiant, and every single time you get a kill with radiant, it recharges the radiant and maxes out back to 20, and you get the throwing knives back, and you can kind of see where the cycle comes. And let's say you have a major or boss, I guess. Here's where the ignition comes in a very key play. You get close, throw your full set, 6 throwing knives at the enemy, and then that already deals, because the thing is, throwing knives don't get their damage reduced, but even if you're playing like Legends mode or Nightfall, they don't get their damage reduced by that much. So they're still doing 5,000 damage per throwing knife, which is pretty cool. And now here's where ignition comes in. Ignition is an explosion that occurs after they've been hit by, I'm pretty sure, Scorch enough, where they just blow up. And this does 4 times the amount of damage your regular 3 throwing knives would do. So, in my case, I'm doing like 26,000 damage, 23,000 damage to a major. And if there's anything nearby that major, like let's say he's just, a swarm of thralls just came in, those would be killed and you would get your thing recharged. Or if you deal enough damage to that thing, you'll get your knives recharged and you can just repeat the combo. And if it's a boss, all you gotta do is roll nearby it, and after you threw your knives, pop your super, you'll get your knives back, throw them, roll, and then throw them again. And then you practically killed anything in your path. So this is all about high critical damage. But again, The only downside is this: you cannot solo anything if you're not equal light level or above light level, because this combo will not work if you're not able to one-shot adds with the throwing knives. It will not work. So note that, and let's get into the video.
This is Banana Gamer Toys, and now today I'll be talking a bit about Gambit. Gambit wise, you want to have PvP weapon, PvE weapon of your choice, and a high explosive, anything, grenade launcher or a rocket launcher. Now, exotics doesn't really matter, it's of your choice. Stats wise, you want to have some form of resilience, like I have 82 resilience, it's not that bad, and intellect, and grenade discipline should be your next highest stats. I do not have that, unfortunately. I don't really have much discipline because my boots are pretty bad. My Dragon Shadow ain't that bad, and it has everything. So yeah, I keep that, but I need to get better boots, so I will eventually. So you want to have high of everything. Intellect and discipline should be pretty high. Recovery doesn't really have to be, because if you're low, you're gonna die anyways. But resilience will help you not get to that low of a point, which will also help you in PvP. So anyways, you have your weapons, your loadout. Now let's talk about a bit of strategy. Strategies wise, there's really only one strategy, which is to, if you're on certain maps, go to the second floor if you're on a couple of the maps, or just try to find those clumps of enemies where you can just immediately unload on them with a weapon. Oh, ignitions. What's that little perk? I'm just gonna quickly get rid of a perk because it ain't gonna be helpful here. Tempting. Let me move this thing. I don't need that. Alright, there. I got higher resilience now because I reduced my resilience. What's this thing? Do you have recovery and resilience? That doesn't really matter. But now, just have your build. Now let's talk about a bit of strategy. As I said, strategies, there's a lot of them, but my current strategy is to run it at the base.
Ding,
it's just base run.
Ding, ding, ding. Hi, bring a sword.
Gambit, pretty simple. You want to have a PvP weapon, PvE weapon, and a high explosive. Or anything that will instantly kill a guardian.
Bring their moats to the
like
bank.
instant. It can't be a couple seconds like a machine gun. It has to be really quick. Or if you're not gonna have stats. Because those groups of guardians are gonna kill me pretty quickly. So, PvP weapon, PvE weapon.
Hostiles incoming at command.
Scatter your moats. Now for this map, it's pretty round. It's a circular map. But you always want to get on the moving plates that you'll be moved away faster to your location. So long range, short range weapons. That's all you need. Once you got that down, you're okay. you don't always have to be a PvP legend, because you could easily just take out a couple guys as long as you have okay range with a super.
Watch it! You're
you'll still
shedding
look pretty
motes!
good.
Kill the blockers!
So it's not completely about skill when it comes to Gambit. It's just about how you kill enemies, just how you interact and kind of just.
High value target is on the field.
What's the word for
Hunt
it?
it down. Put some rounds in it.
More like how you react to what your opponents do. Invader. And once there's an invader, if let's say you're fighting a primeval, you just gotta group up, clump up. Everybody has a clump up. Sometimes when you're not in your fire team, that will not be possible, but a strategy is to really clump up. Because once one person starts firing, everybody will eventually figure out which direction. But you don't want to be too close because, well, one grenade launcher and you just kill squad wipes, right?
High value target is down and out.
You gotta get out, get on my way. So keep your distance, but you gotta always be pretty close together.
Portals up. Go look them in the eyes.
That's not required.
Hostiles incoming at the burrow. You just sicked a large.
So just
locker
keep your
on fellow
PvP
guardians.
weapon
I can hear 'em
close. Don't need it
scream.
always. But always keep trying to charge up your heavy weapon because it's going to be really useful. Oh. There's two of them.
You're bleeding motes, brother. Whack the blockers. Allies headed to the other side.
Giving you a rundown of
Gain the
Gambit.
lead.
Gambit's a child that everybody loves and hates because it's a mix of Vanguard and Crucible.
You're being invaded. Find them before they find you. Invaders gone. Get them next time. This is what the taken feel.
I'm gonna wait. No, I'm not going to put There's gonna be an opportunity where I need to get more kills than I need. So I'm just gonna get one
Guardian
kill.
down.
Because see, the health is really high up. So you want to save your super when you need it. So now that I'm back, let's pull off the button of the game.
Invader incoming.
We have an invader. They're going to start. Once they even it out, we have to do that. But if they're doing it, don't kill them. Oh, I got that.
Get them next
Gambit's
time.
a thing everybody loves and hates. Personally, I love it because it's a mix of PvE and PvP, where everything's not strictly based on how good you are at PvP, as there are some PvE elements to it. For example, what strategies and what weapons you want to use to kill off a crowd of enemies.
Envoys eliminated. Focus
Well,
on
we
the
need
primeval.
going up close now. Where the hell is that? I need that to go now. In. No, not you.
You're invading. Make a mess.
Go.
One. And second.
see what-
Two for one. You gained the lead.
Alright, we're good. Restored this game, now we're in. We're in. So, you just want PvE weapon, PvP weapon. Or you can choose PvE weapons and do a PvP weapon.
Invaders off the
It's your
field.
personal preference. I'm gonna pick Invader too. But look, we all want. Ow.
This is what the taken. Revel in this.
They're crowded. I'm gonna try to start to kill them. He's got straight.
10 seconds. That's one. Welcome back. You're ahead.
Now we're back. God,
Primeval compromised. Focus your fire. Opposing team's about to win. The enemy team's about to win this. Get moving. Invader down. You can relax. Embrace the darkness. Take out those guardians.
Smoke's a lot of that. Oh, what did I do?
10 seconds. That's one. You gain the lead. Two down. Welcome back.
Alright. You just gotta do whatever you need to do. For example, let's say if you're going to lose, you gotta go in that portal now. Doesn't matter if you get a kill, as long as you're there. It'll distract them from attacking and maybe you can secure victory. So it's all about tactics. You always want to have an SMG, long range close range.
Invader on the field.
You gotta have that blue.
Careful. Opposing team's about to win. Fight's over.
How did they
Opposing
kill it
team
that way?
killed their primeval.
At least you shot them. Squad wipe them, almost. Well, I just took out like 2-1-2 people. Anyways. The thing I don't understand is how they kill off people that quickly, man. It's like ridiculous. I'm not gonna blame it on the squad. This squad looks nice, like 170. I'm only at 128. But I can still experience these people pretty good. So now while we're going into a different match, let's really talk about stats. Now stats, you really want really high resilience for this because having a damn 32% or 40 if you're maxed out is absolutely insane, because having that 40 will practically secure you every single game. And you always want to have your exotic to have extremely high stat rolls. What's that? I think the maximum is 80, right? And for this one I got really lucky with the Dragon Sorrow Shadow and got absolutely everything on it. So now I can just run around. This is bad. Where is that? Do I need enchantments or no? I don't. Where's that thing at? Gear. This. Battens and Gambit. We also have this thing. So, what if you're struggling when it comes to Gambit? Here's some quick tips. So, you never want to, if you're going on an invader, you really don't want to fight as a squad. Like that's like the first thing I learned. I played Gambit for what, like, when did I start? 3 days ago. Because I just decided I need. That's when I actually started hard grinding a bit on Gambit, which I played on like 18 games. But nonetheless, on my inexperience, I can kind of explain it. There are still many ways, a lot of ways, to show how you know. Oh my god.
After that, I made some really quick adjustments and noticed that there's a couple new fragments that you can actually put onto their solar class, which you practically give the effect where once ignition happens, it can actually chain react with other things. And then if you want, you can actually get rid of some, what's it? Oh yeah, that thing where the solar sacks, which is practically just where you can scorch stacks 3 times, which is useful, but not as useful. Because it's a bit helpful when you want to get the ignition, because all you require is like, I'm pretty sure like 4 knives in order to get the ignition. If you don't have it, it's like 6 knives, which is the perfect amount you have. So it can be a bit risky, but like anybody can hit 6 knives as long as they're close enough to the boss. You can hit 6 knives, so it doesn't really matter. But then you can, but if you replace it for the ignition, if that boss ignites, doesn't kill him, anything nearby will explode, and that'll be a chain reaction. Because for adds, the ignition deals 4 times the amount of health they have if you're equal light level with them or above. So that's where the advantage comes in. So you can clear out whole entire rooms. Even if they're like 20 light levels above you, you'll still be able to clear adds out pretty effectively. You just need like 1 knife or 2 knives with them. And remember, when you have a city of space, you have 6 knives or 2 throw charges, and if you manage to miss all the knives, which is unlikely, you can just roll and regain them, which is another 6 knives. And make sure, please note, while you're radiant, or if you're burning, scorching any enemies with this build, you'll get your knives and your rollback pretty quickly as long as something's on fire. So the Midas Meaning Tool, Sunshot works well too, and there was a new solar auto rifle a little bit back then with the Ranger Master work on it. So you can get that if you really want to. Yeah, those are all pretty good options. Anything with flame, period, will work pretty well with this build. So anyways, this has been Iron Toys. I'm your host Maverick, and I'm out.